Well, hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Welcome one, welcome all new and old. So, today I'm going to do a Polish dish, and I hope I say it right. It's called Haluski. Maybe I said it right, maybe I didn't, but I tried, y'all. I tried. It's a Polish dish. It's made with cabbage and either hot dogs or kielbasa or no meat at all. It's very simple to make. So I'm going to put some Walmart kielbasa in it, and that's going to bring us in about $6.50, somewhere around there. It isn't traditionally served with carrots, but I haven't made up my mind whether or not I want to add that, so that might be an extra cost, or if you have 1 or 2 carrots laying around in your refrigerator. So, but for the base meal, it's about $6.50. So without further ado, let's get it, let's go, let's hit those pots, come on. All right, here's everything you may need. If you want to make it vegetarian, you don't use the kielbasa. And you don't necessarily need the onion. It's a flavor enhancer. You could use onion powder, onion flakes, things like that. But I'm just going to use the onion. All right, and the carrots. The recipe does not call for carrots. So I might serve that as a side. I might add it in. You know, I always go rogue. I do my own thing, but that's the fun about cooking, making it your own. So here's what you need. I got 16 ounces of egg noodles out there. For 6, you only need about 7 ounces. I didn't buy the 12-ounce bag because it was more money. It didn't make any sense. So I'm just going to use half of that bag. I'm going to use 6-ish ounces. So onward, forward. So the egg noodles, the kielbasa, the onion, the cabbage. You're going to need some butter and possibly some carrots. First thing I'm going to do is dice up that head of cabbage so I can get it soaking in some water. Okay, so I cut the head of cabbage in half. It's a small head. I'm just going to try to find the stem. It's right there. I'm just going to slice it down into strips like this. And then possibly I may just cut them in half like that. So they're like looking something like this. When you get to the stems, the sticks part, you could still cook them. I just thin it down a little bit, and I leave these little pieces in there, the real thick things, because it adds volume and more food, and why throw it away if you can eat it? Boom. All right, so I'm going to continue on just like that. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not. There, we're just gonna, boom. Done. All right, so I'm gonna finish slicing that up. All right, I don't know why everything's showing up so dark. I hope it's not dark. I have every light on. It is dark outside today. Well, it's very cloudy. All right, so everything's chopped up. It doesn't look like a lot like this. I'm telling you, when I separate all of these layers, it's gonna be a giant pile, but I wanna get it into the sink so it can soak in some water, and we'll go from there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start boiling some water for the pasta. Before I cut up the kielbasa, I'm going to dice up this, I was going to call it a carrot, this onion. Eric and I were just talking about the carrots, whether or not I should just put them in. I'm like, I feel like I want to put it in there. He goes, I feel like I want you to make sweet carrots. So I think that might be a compromise. Do it as a side dish. It cracks me up. The rest could care less. They just want to eat. So I'm just going to dice it up like that. I might even slice it down the center here. Just like that. That's all. Nothing crazy. Just dice it up. All right, I'm nearly done. If you hear the air fryer running, that's just Eric making a snack. Okay. I'm gonna scoop this up, and we're gonna chop up the kielbasa. All right, cut them any way you want. There is no rhyme, no reason. I think I'm gonna cut mine on a hard slant. I feel like I get more coverage that way. So just like that. All right, onward, forward. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing that way. All righty. All right, now that everything is all sliced and diced and ready to go, we're moving on over to the stove. All right, I have the water boiling for the egg noodles over there. I got the pot out to start cooking. Before I start, we're gonna jump back over there. We're gonna cut up the carrots and get those ready so we don't have to keep moving back and forth. All right, for the sweet carrots, I started a little bit ahead of you because it's not really that, you could cook them whole like this, but I find that if I cut them in half and then half again, they cook a little quicker. I guess because they're thinner, I suppose. But that's all you got to do. I think I got enough here. I'm going to throw these in a little bit of water, just enough to cover the carrots. Just like that. Barely, just covering them. I'm going to put a little salt in the water. Just a little bit, not a ton. That wasn't even 1/8 of a teaspoon. That was a pinch. All right, so I'm going to put those, I'm going to let them boil so they get soft. I want the water to reduce down. So whatever water is left in the pot, I'm going to use. So don't think I'm boiling away everything. It'll still be in the pot. All right, so the carrots are over that way cooking. Or come at to temperature. They're just salt and carrots right now. Gonna melt down some butter. And we're gonna cook the onions. All right. Gotta turn that down just a little. We're gonna soften these up, and halfway through I'm gonna add the kielbasa in. All right, so they're softening down. We're gonna add that in. Part of my napkin, I washed my hands yet again. I decided to cut these, even though I said I was gonna cut them like, kind of like that. I decided to cut them in half. Just so it goes farther. We're gonna brown these up real quick. All right, that's good. I'm gonna take this out and I'll put it to the side. I got a lot of nice little browning. Say, oops. They're not all brown, but I don't want to cook it too long. Kind of like that. Now take those out of the pan and we're gonna add the cabbage. All right, so I add a little butter to the pan. Let that pick up some of those bits and pieces down there. And then we're gonna add the cabbage. The cabbage will make liquid, so you don't have to add anything. Just be careful you don't burn it. The only thing I'm gonna add to the cabbage is salt and pepper, and I'm using seasoned salt. So I'm gonna start adding this cabbage a little bit at a time. It does wilt down. And every time I throw it in, oh, this is almost empty. Have to refill it. A little bit of seasoned salt. Add a little bit of pepper. And those are always gonna be to taste. This calls for no other seasonings. I might add a little bit once I get it done, if I feel like it needs more season. Pasta is done. We're just gonna put this in. Here we go, the rest of it's there. I'm gonna put a lid on that and just let it cook down. More pepper. All right, let me get the lid. Boom. All right, just gonna give it a look-see, see what's going on in there. Yep, it's starting to cook down. It's not there yet, but it's starting. All right, back with the lid. All right, it's softened down quite a bit. I'm going to leave the lid off so that the water can evaporate a little bit while it continues to soften down. All right, so that cooked down. The color is just from what was in the pan. I didn't add anything. I didn't burn it. It's just the color from the pan. Nice and soft. To this, we're going to add the pasta that we cooked. Whoops. Okay, flying out. Got to give that a nice mix. And then we're going to add the kielbasa and stuff in here. And then we're going to start mixing everything together. Going to add some more butter, salt, and pepper. I don't think we'll need much salt though, because I added a good amount to the cabbage. Try to get that all stirred up before I add the kielbasa back in. See, this is why I think it should have some cabbage in it. Not cabbage, carrots, because it needs some color. All right. My opinion, I probably could have used a little more cabbage. In goes the onions and the kielbasa. This made a lot. I didn't think it was going to make that much. Good thing I didn't cook extra. All right, we're going to add a little bit of butter. Probably a little bit more pepper. And if it needs it, some onion or garlic powder. Let me just get a sample of the pasta. It needs something. It needs a lot more pepper, depending on what your taste is. I'm going to add some garlic and some onion. That's some garlic. I know I have onion in it, but the onion powder kind of hits differently, and I only have a little bit in there. And then while we let this thing do its thing, we're going to finish the carrots, and we are done. I'm not going to add any more seasoned salt just yet until I taste it. We're going to give that a nice big stir. And it could use a little bit more butter. I forgot the butter. Or, I always say butter, but you guys know what I mean. We can't use butter. But you can. Okay. Turning my heat back on for a minute. Grab some of this country crock. Throw another plop in there. And we're just going to mix that together. While this is all coming together, we'll finish up the carrots and then we'll be eating. All right. My stove is a mess. All right, so I have still a little bit of water in the bottom. Got to add a plop of butter. Going to add 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. That might be too much, but my kids like it sweet. Add a little bit of maple syrup. I don't really have maple syrup. I have this sugar stuff, so we're just gonna move that around. We're gonna let that get liquefied, and then if I need it, oh wait, I need the cinnamon. If I need it, if it doesn't thicken up the way I like, I just make a cornstarch slurry. And that's that. They end up tasting like yam. Ooh! Oh my goodness. Hold on, I gotta get some of that out of there. All right, I took some of the carrots off the top. So we're just gonna let that simmer and make a nice little thick glaze, I guess. All right, I made a little bit of a cornstarch slurry. It's gonna thicken it up. And they're gonna have a nice glaze. I'll show you what they look like when they're done. And that is done. Look how yummy they look. It's thickening up real nice. That is dinner. Let me plate it up. And there's my plate. I'm gonna meet you at the table.
If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
We're at the table. Ball.
Smells good.
What do you want to try?
The sweet carrots.
The sweet carrots. I knew he was going to say he loves sweet carrots. Oh, sorry. I went ahead of her. They're good. This is called Haluski or Haluski. I can't say it now. It's a Polish dish. We've eaten stuff similar to this before, but not how this was made. Are you ready? All right, go ahead. That's got a lot of flavor for a little bit of seasoning I put in it.
It's really good.
I really like cabbage too. So this is a dish I like. All right, let me get everybody else fed. We'll see what they think about it, and we'll talk about it at the wrap-up. Bye-bye. Dinner's over. How'd we do? Boom. Did not finish. The carrots just a little bit left. I got a lot of ideas about this one. Let's start with the kids though. First, Eric, what'd you think about dinner?
It was really good, and I really liked the kielbasa in it.
Yeah, Eric usually says to me, you know what would make this better, Grandma? And I'll say what? He'll say, less meat. So today he says, you know what would make this better, Grandma? And I said, less meat. He goes, no, more kielbasa. I really like that. How about that? Aiden, what'd you think?
I really loved it. It was amazing.
Awesome. Yaya, what'd you think about dinner?
I loved it a lot.
Tyler?
I think you did a very good job. I loved it very much. It was excellent.
Awesome. I liked it. I think because I like cabbage, I think it could have handled a bit more cabbage than I put in there, maybe a slightly bigger head. I also kind of missed the carrot in it. I'm not sure. I just feel like it would do something to it, but that's just my preference. But other than that, I thought it was absolutely delicious. We're all full off of a couple of dollars, so it's a win for me. So there you have it. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. Leave me a comment. Either way, see you later. Bye.